The Patriots look to make it 6 wins in a row against the Atlanta Falcons as their victim this week. After starting 1-2, they now sit at 6-2 atop the AFC East. But this Atlanta team is really tricky. We're going to give you 3 keys to victory for the Patriots and what seems like in 10-2 get the car in the garage kind of game, but I assure you it's not. This Falcons team is weird, okay? They're 3-4 on the year. Okay, they're 1 game away possibly from firing their head coach, but their 3 wins this year have all come against good football teams. 3 teams that all made the playoffs at 12-plus wins last year. They have a common opponent in Buffalo. They've both beaten them. They've both beaten Buffalo. The Patriots have also beaten Carolina, who shut out the Falcons 30-0 earlier this year. So you see what I mean? It's been a weird season. They got crushed by Miami at home on Sunday. Miami, one of the worst teams in the league, but no Michael Penix in that game. We're still waiting to hear back if he is going to play. So all that to say, this is not just an easy 10-2, get the car in the garage kind of game for the Patriots, especially when you're looking ahead to Tampa Bay. So here are your 3 keys to victory for the Patriots this week. Number 1, get off the field on the first drive. Like, not give up any points. Here's been a weird part about this winning streak is that the Patriots have fallen behind in every one of those games. And in 4 of the 5 games on the winning streak, the Patriots have given up points on the first drive. To go even further, twice it was against very bad quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler and Dylan Gabriel, who went down and marched all the way down the field and scored a touchdown on the first drive. So obviously the Patriots have responded. They have not given up 3 touchdowns in a game on this winning streak. They usually batten down the hatches like they have the last couple of weeks. But if Michael Penix plays, he might be the second best quarterback you've faced in this streak. Josh Allen's the only one that's better. You could argue Bryce Young, but they're both about the same this year. And so you have a better quarterback than you have faced most of this time, and it's one who pushes the ball down the field pretty effectively, just like New Orleans did against you and kept that thing close. So that is one where if the Patriots are on the front foot, that changes a lot and actually weakens the Falcons a lot with what they're good at. But it looks like it's going to be Penix. But if Kirk Cousins is playing in this game, we don't need to do the segment. There's no keys to victory. If the Patriots just put their pads on and Drake May plays, they will beat a Falcons team if they're led by Kirk Cousins. If Michael Penix is out there, which it looks like it's going to be, they need to get off to a better start than they have. Because if they don't and they're playing from behind, it's going to play right into the Falcons' strengths. I know. Of course it does. So cliched. But there are some things that the Falcons do that I'm going to talk about in the 3rd key to the game that would absolutely put them on the front foot if they go up even 3-0 in this game. 2nd key to the game. You would think Bijan Robinson is the Falcons running back we need to focus on the most, but you would be wrong, my friends. 2nd key to the game is to keep Tyler Algier to single-digit carries. Why are we even doing this? Like, Bijan Robinson's one of the biggest threats in football. Hasn't really shown it the last 2 weeks, since that massive game against the Bills where he had like 250 AP yards. He's gone under 3 yards a carry each of the last 2 weeks. But when Atlanta really gets into a groove, it's when they're throwing both backs at you. Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. Just a couple of Big 12 guys. He's had 10 carries in 4 games this season, Algier has, and 3 of those were the 3 Falcons wins. They try to feed him when things are going well. They get a little thunder and lightning going on, but he's not a go-to guy when they're trailing in a game. When you limit him to single-digit touches, you're going to win the game. That's what the Falcons' schedule has shown you so far. If he's getting the rock a lot, that's not a good sign for the Patriots. It means the Falcons are getting what they want offensively. They're getting into a groove. They're running the ball down your throat, which is something that has not happened against the Patriots at all this year. Nobody's ran it down their throat. And to go back to Bijan Robinson, because of course he is, the number one guy you need to key on for this Falcons team. In all of their wins, he has had 75 plus yards. And in fact, every time he's had 75 plus yards, the Falcons have won. Except for week one. That was the only time. So if he's under 75 yards, they don't win. The Patriots, which is a slept-on stat so far this year, the Patriots are the only NFL team in the last 75 years to not allow a 50-yard rusher through the first 8 weeks of the season. 75 years since someone's done that. 1950 was the last time a team dominated against the run the first 8 weeks of the season like the Patriots have. Mike Vrabel has built a historically good defense in terms of how they play against the run in one season. Now, they've had some close calls. I think both Chuba Hubbard and James Cook got to 49 yards, but they've not allowed a 50-yard rusher this year. And if they finally do give up a 50-yard rusher to Bijan, they still have 25 yards of wiggle room before it becomes a near certain Falcons win. Obviously, Bijan is the more dangerous of the two backs, but Tyler Allgeier's numbers are more indicative of what the Falcons are going to do and how they're going to do than Bijan Robinson. Key number 3 to the Patriots' victory finally looks at the Patriots' offense, and that is 80 all-purpose yards for TreVeyon Henderson. If you get that, you're feeling pretty good. Went with TreVeyon for a key to the game last week, and that was more receptions-based, and he did have himself a good game, so I was like, I'll run it back. He gets you a man that could do both, okay? That is where Henderson helps you this week, big time, okay? Because, he obviously had the big game last week all on the ground for 10 carries for 75 yards, but it was the second straight week that he didn't have a reception. And that needs to change. That's where he can be dangerous for you this week. And we've talked about the Jekyll and Hyde nature of this Falcons team, but, we talked about Cleveland last week and how stout that defense is. The Falcons have the best passing defense in the NFL this year. And for the second week in a row, I think that becomes a legit test for Drake May. Now, the Dirty Birds are a little banged up on the defensive side of the ball, too. It sounds like they're going to get some offensive guys back this week, but defensively, they're a little banged up. No Billy Bowman in this one, the former Oklahoma Sooner, but they were dominant against the pass going into last week. They had their worst defensive performance of the year. They gave up 4 touchdown passes to Tua Tagovailoa, who was coming off back-to-back weeks with 3 picks, and they allowed Tua to have a 138 passer rating, 53 points higher than the Falcons team average against them this year. He torched them. And what is Tua great at? Checking it down, baby. Checking it down. Short pass to set up the deep pass, and the deep pass doesn't often come. With the Falcons, as good as they are in coverage, the check down can absolutely be your friend this week, Drake May. No one will hold it against you. And Henderson was pretty elusive last week against the Browns. And that's where you're talking about short passing game, yak. It all fits in to how TreVeyon Henderson can help you win this game. That could really, really be the difference. You got to get him more involved in the passing game. Antonio Gibson wasn't going to give you much of that, but neither is Ramondre Stevenson. We know with these Josh McDaniels offenses, you need to get something out of your running backs in the passing game, especially in a game where you're facing a pass defense that's as good as the Falcons, because they really are that good. So TreVeyon Henderson, 80-plus all-purpose yards. I don't think we're asking for a lot there. We just need to see more of him on third down and some more of him toting the rock. I thought they had a good balance last week. I really did with him and Ramondre Stevenson. But he's going to need to be a threat out of the passing game again. He had receptions the first 7 weeks of the season, and hasn't had any in the last 2. If they're able to do that, then it's going to be pretty easy, I would say, against the Falcons on Sunday. But that's it. Those are my 3 keys to the game for the Patriots against the Falcons, 1 o'clock Sunday at Gillette Stadium. Let me know what yours are in the comments section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you every weekday live, noon Eastern time, then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. And I want to see some score predictions. If you got some score predictions, let's see it in the comment section below. Patriots, Falcons, can they make it 6 wins in a row?